Welcome, welcome, boys. Okay. Today we have a whole bunch of stuff to do that's going to be broken up into a whole bunch of different videos. First and foremost, I got this used fan, and this guy stands upright, whereas the other Harbor Freight fan I just bought the other day kind of sits on the ground. You guys saw in that Mercedes video, if you watched it. But this fan's damaged. Wire's cut here, but I do have the rest of it. So what we're going to do is solder these wires back together. This fan's going to work, and it's going to assist us in repairing the Crown Vic. That'll be its own video. So, I got ye old soldering iron plugged in. So she's getting hot. Let's go ahead and take the stupid fan apart and fix it, shall we? Now in this particular case, we're going to have to cut away this insulation a little, so remember, always use a dull cutting tool, always cut towards you, don't wear any sort of protection for your hands, don't keep a phone nearby or another person nearby to call for emergency services in case of injury. Alright, get her done. Okay, now when it comes to basic soldering, I do have some helping hands, which are these little devices that hold the wires. These wires aren't going to quite be long enough, plus I'm not on the ground, so I don't think I'm going to need them, nor can I really use them anyway. So unfortunately, we're going to have to guerrilla warfare style it, where we just kind of hold it in place with one hand, get the solder and the our iron with the other. We'll see what kind of damage we can do, but before we do that, we need to take some of these dudes, this heat shrink stuff, and slip it on our wires here. That way, once we have a nice good solder connection, we can heat shrink this insulation on. That'll seal them up, and then we'll electrical tape the rest of it where this insulation used to be. So it's as simple as just sliding this over one of these wires beforehand. I'm opting to use this since I have more room to go down here and use these things. So that's the target, that's the game plan. Okay, we can make fine-tune adjustments if we need to, but you get a little bit of solder on your iron, and you just go for it. Okay, so we got a little bit of solder already on here, which is as simple as taking your roll of solder, dabbing it onto your point here, like so. And once we get some solder built up, just kind of rub it in here. That'll coat it. This side's obviously going to be cleaner than this since this side's been exposed, but now we just kind of put it together, let the solder do the work for us. So we'll start with the green one since it's kind of on the bottom here. Move all the other wires out of the way. And we're going to try to essentially melt the solder, liquefy the solder that's on there, and get these two wires to kind of seat together. So it works best if you have some solder on the top of the wire, for example, you come at it from the bottom, or vice versa. Then our solder will be heated and melt through and kind of soak all the wires. Just do that for all of them. See, now if I let go, there's still quite a bit of weight on the cord, but it is sticking, see? So now with that being the case, I'm going to elevate the cord slightly so all the weight's not on it, so it's not dangling on that one solder joint. I'm going to tidy that up and then do the other two. Okay, so we got everything soldered up there. I guess you guys have been off center this whole time, huh? And then we'll go ahead and get our wiring covered there so we don't have any shorts and fires and other bad things. And then that should do her. Plug it in and see if it works. And I also had to figure out how to better secure these fan blades. It looks like they'd be flopping around in the wind, so I have to take this off and get in there and better secure that. Perhaps with a nut or washer or something on the other side. Large bushing, I don't know. We'll burn that bridge when we get there. Okay, I moved you boys over here, so that's all done. I don't think I need to explain heat gunning shrink wrap and then wrapping it up with electrical tape. But, so we already did that. And then to address that wobbly issue, so I keep a spare bag of random stuff from car parts that I don't use. So if I buy new shocks and struts, it comes with new hardware, I save the old hardware. By replacing anything, and it comes with new hardware, end links, anything, I save them. So after fishing through my bag of goodies, I found this, which I believe is from the Neon, but it is the nut that held the top of the strut onto the spring. And leaving this very questionable thing on here, we place this all the way back, it's almost completely flush here. So we'll power it up and see what happens. You know what, might be a good idea. I might get some tape or something, kind of tape that up. It'll be a little off balance, probably. But I'm thinking it might be a good idea to somehow secure this. Actually, you know what, zip ties would probably work better. I'll get some zip ties and zip tie this thing around so it doesn't like fly off. And then we'll put our fan blade back on with that 10mm. Okay, so that should hopefully hold it on there. And we'll get my fan. And the 10mm with the washer. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Fits right over there, and then the little octagonal or hexagonal parts of that bolt hold it in there. Okay, let me get some vice grips and we'll clamp down that shaft. Alright, let's see what kind of damage we can do now. We'll put the guard back on before we fire this thing up in case of catastrophic failure. Okay, boys, moment of truth. Got it back together. We'll plug it in and see if we have a fire. Okay, so that's promising so far. Let's see if it works. Well, it is a wee bit on the wobbly side, boys, so it is a little unbalanced like I thought it would be with that thing on there, but it kind of needs to be there. That does work, though. So, I guess that's technically a successful solder repair. Now, I don't know if I'm really going to use this thing, for obvious reasons. I might. Maybe on, like, questionably yucky days. I might see if I can't search for a better piece, like an intact something that might go over that. I do have some old bushings. Might be able to drill some holes out of something. I don't know. We'll burn that bridge when we get there, but I think I'm going to wrap it up for this video because I got to get started on the pick. Alright, so that's how you fix a fan. Soldering and the blade not being secured. Thanks for watching, boys. Peace.